Session 7, which is about to begin, is on the Guru-Shishya relationship. May I request our moderator and panelists to come to the dais. Our moderator is Venerable Serkong Tsenshap Rinpoche, and our panelists are Professor Pradeep P. Gokhale. Dr. Andrea Acri will be joining us online via Zoom, and Dr. Geshe Lobsang Dorjee Rabling. Allow me to briefly introduce our eminent panelists. Our moderator, Venerable Serkong Tsenshap Rinpoche, was born in the Spiti Valley in 1984. He was recognized by His Holiness the Dalai Lama as the reincarnation of Kyabye Tsenshap Serkong Rinpoche, who lived from 1914 to 1983, one of 7 master debate partners to His Holiness. Rinpoche is the head of Thabo Monastery in Spiti, founded in 966. Welcome, Rinpoche, and we are honored you are moderating this session. Professor Pradeep P. Gokhale is a distinguished scholar of Indian philosophy and Buddhist studies. He retired as Professor of Philosophy from Savitribai Phule, Pune University in 2012 and subsequently served as the B.R. Ambedkar Research Professor at the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, CIHTS, Sarnath, from 2012 to 2018. He is currently an honorary adjunct professor in the Department of Pali and Buddhist Studies at Savitribai Phule, Pune University. His research spans Buddhist logic, ethics, and comparative philosophy. Welcome, Professor. Dr. Andrea Acri will be joining us online via Zoom, but let me quickly read out his biography. Dr. Andrea Acri is Associate Professor in Tantric Studies at the Religious Studies section of the Ecole Pratique des Hautes Etudes, EPHE, Paris. He specializes in the text historical study of Tantric traditions in South and Southeast Asia, with special emphasis on intra-Asian maritime circulation and Shaiva and Buddhist traditions in pre-modern insular Southeast Asia. Besides being the principal investigator of ERC Mantra Tantram, he is lead researcher in the ERC Synergy Mantrams, which stands for Mantras in Religion, Media and Society in Global Southern Asia, hosted at the Universities of Vienna, Tübingen, Oxford, and the EPHE. We welcome Dr. Andrea online. Dr. Geshe Lobsang Dorjee Rabling is an associate professor and distinguished scholar of Buddhist philosophy and philology. He holds an Acharya and PhD from the Central Institute of Higher Tibetan Studies, CIHTS Sarnath, and a Geshe degree from Drepung Gomang Monastery, 2018. His research focuses on restoring and translating lost Buddhist and Indian texts from Tibetan back into Sanskrit, reviving classical knowledge traditions. Among his notable works are the critical edition of Tamgyud Serge Thangma by Gedun Shofel and a Tibetan translation of the Questions of King Milinda, bridging India-Tibet scholarly exchanges through meticulous philological study. Welcome to all the panelists, and over to you, Serkong Tangshe Rinpoche.
Thank you. Can you hear me? Okay, that's good. So, welcome everyone. I hope you had a nice lunch and a rest. And now, this propound topic, relation between a teacher and a student, guru and chela. I'm pretty sure that all you are striving to hear about this, and I am also looking forward to hear this wonderful topic. First, our speaker, Professor Pradeep. So whenever you're ready, we are ready. Thank you. And rules are same. It's 20 minutes per all of you. So I will set an alarm here. Once it goes, it's signal. I don't need to say anything. Okay.
So, Venerable Chairperson, respected scholars on the dais and friends, we have been listening to very important presentations on Atisa's life, deeds, and his philosophical contributions, and I am greatly benefited by all of them. So I am grateful to the organizers of the seminar and also all the participants. I must confess that I am not an expert in this area. I accepted the invitation because I thought that it is an opportunity to think about Guru-Shishya relation in general, in Indian context, and also about the contribution of Bodhipatha Pradeep with reference to that. So in my paper, I will be discussing Guru-Shishya relation in Vedic context, then that in Shravakayana, then Mahayana, and then Tantrayana. That is the order in which I will be presenting. In Vedic tradition, the notion of Guru is relevant at two levels. One at the level of action-centric part of the Vedas, that is Karmakanda, at the level of knowledge-centric part of the Vedas, that is Jnana-kanda. With regard to both, we can ask the questions such as who can be the teacher and who can be the student of these parts of the Vedas. In the answer to these questions, considerations of caste, that is Varna and gender, play a dominant role. Among the four Varnas, those born in three Varnas, namely Brahmana, Kshatriya and Vaishya, were permitted to study Vedas, and among them only a Brahmana was permitted to teach Vedas. Shudras were not permitted even to study the Vedas. In the performance of rituals such as sacrifices, only those who belonged to Brahmana caste could act as priests. They guided the performance, and in that sense they were gurus. According to a derivation of the word Brahmana, a Brahmana possesses Brahman in the sense of the power of spell, mantra, by his birth and training. The performance of a Vedic rite by the performer under his guidance causes fruition of the rite. Brahmana, being the teacher and religious leader of all, was supposed to be worthy of worship by all. In ritualistic context, a Brahmin priest plays the role of a guru because of the special power which he possesses. His chanting of mantras is supposed to have supernormal effect. In Brahmanical soteriological tradition, the concepts like soul and God, that is Atman and Brahman, are dominant. It has implications to the way Guru-Shishya relation is understood in it. Hence, Guru is not only supposed to be the teacher, but he is supposed to be God or Brahman incarnate. Here one can distinguish between a teacher and a guru. A teacher imparts knowledge which is primarily verbal knowledge to the disciple, but guru is supposed to be one who possesses divine element or divine power. In the soteriological aspect of the Vedic culture, the final goal set before human beings is the moksha of Atman, which appears to treat all living beings as equal, all jivatmans as equal. For example, the final goal is supposed to be the realization of the form, I am Brahman, and the Brahman is supposed to be the same for all. Brahman is without body, organs, etc., and without the identity of Varna, caste, and gender. But on the question as to how the goal is achieved, different paths come to be opened before us. The major path which stems from Upanishads is the path of knowledge, according to which one attains ultimate realization by understanding the meaning of the great sentences, that is Mahavakyas, contained in the Upanishads. Since the Upanishads are a part of the Vedas, the rule that only Brahmanas can be the teachers and the men belonging to the first three Varnas can be the students, and the Shudras and the women cannot even be the students, applies here. This creates a discrepancy in Vedic soteriology. The ultimate goal is without caste gender discrimination, but the way to the goal implies such a discrimination. An attempt to remove the discrepancy was made by inventing the path of devotion, bhakti, which was not strictly Vedic and was available to men and women of all castes. Hence, the statement attributed to Krishna in the Gita, "O the son of Prutha, by going refuge to me, even those born due to past sins, namely women, Vaishyas and Shudras, attain the highest position after death." The Brahmin domination and the rule that a Brahmin alone can be the Guru are relaxed in the path of devotion. However, in both the paths, those of knowledge and devotion, the Guru is regarded as representing the ultimate reality, that is Brahman or God. Secondly, the spiritual Guru is regarded as the necessary mediator between God and the devotee. The Guru is supposed to have a special power by applying which he can confer emancipating realization on the deserving disciple. Because of this, the teacher-disciple relation also changes. The teacher is not only to be respected but worshipped. The disciple is not only supposed to be the learner but the devotee of the teacher. Now I come to Guru-Shishya relation according to Shravakayana Buddhism. Here under Shravakayana we will mainly talk about Theravada or Pali Buddhism. Whereas Guru-Shishya relation in Vedic soteriology is God-centric, that in Theravada is human-centric. The Buddha in Theravada is the teacher of gods and humans, but he was himself an enlightened human being. He did not identify himself with God, Ishvara, that is Brahman, or soul, that is Atman. He did not claim that he can impart final liberating knowledge on the deserving disciple. The Buddha does not tell his disciples, "Come to me, have uncritical faith in me, I will liberate you." On the contrary, he says in Dhammapada, you have to make hard efforts for your achievement of the final goal. The Buddhas only tell you the way. Tummehi kicham atappam akkhataro tathagata. In Vedic tradition, it was believed that the aspirant should have uncritical faith in the teacher and the scriptures that he taught. The scriptures were regarded as authorless, that is apaurushaya, or created by God himself. The role of reason was only of justifying scriptures, it was not supposed to question them. The Buddha did not have such an approach to his teachings. While giving his teachings to common people, he was unassuming and unimposing. He did not ask people to follow him because he was saying so. He wanted them to think independently and then make their own judgment as suggested in Kalama Sutta. Now I come to teacher-disciple relation in Mahayana. In Shravakayana, the teacher helps his disciple through his teachings to reach the ideal of Arhat. In Mahayana, the Arhat ideal is replaced by Buddhahood as the ultimate goal and Bodhisattvahood as the penultimate goal. Two steps are important in this context. One, the aspirant undertakes Bodhisattva's way of life and develops Bodhichitta, that is pro-enlightenment mind, as a part of it. And two, the Bodhisattva tries to reach the final goal, that is Buddhahood, which is qualified by right enlightenment, Samyak Sambodhi, and omniscience, Sarvajnata, by climbing up the staircase of 10 stages, that is Bhumis, by attaining a perfection, that is Paramita, at each stage. The works like Bodhicharya Avatar or Shantideva explain in detail how one should develop a pro-enlightenment mind, basically an altruistic mind. Dipankara in Bodhipada Pradeep specifically refers to the Mahayana Sutra called Gandavyuha Sutra in this context. He refers to Gandavyuha Sutra, in which Maitreya emphasizes the importance of producing pro-enlightenment mind. Maitreya says there, while addressing the assembly of aspirants, "O the sons of a noble family, rare are the beings in this world who make a resolve to attain insuperable right enlightenment, yet rarer are those who make endeavor to attain the insuperable right enlightenment, Anuttara Samyak Sambodhi." Dipankara says, one should establish those infinite qualities of the pro-enlightenment mind, Sambodhi Chitta, by reading the sutra, that is Gandavyuha Sutra, or by listening to it from one's guru, and should generate such a mind again and again by properly understanding its causes. This suggests that according to Dipankara, for generating the Bodhi mind, the guidance from a guru is not essential, though useful. However, when it comes to developing and enriching the Bodhi mind in order to attain the final goal, Buddhahood, which is qualified by omniscience and right enlightenment, the guidance from a guru seems to be essential. This is suggested by Dipankara's reference to Gandavyuha Sutra. The main theme of the Gandavyuha Sutra is the important and essential role that a benevolent friend, that is Kalyana Mitra, plays in the attainment of Buddhahood. The central theme of Gandavyuha Sutra is the journey of Sudhana, the merchant son, towards Buddhahood through the meetings with and guidance from a long chain of Kalyana Mitras. The term Kalyana Mitra is relevant to Shravakayana also, but there the role of a teacher, even as a benevolent friend, is limited to giving instructions. In Mahayana, the role of a teacher as a Kalyana Mitra is not limited to giving instructions. He, rather any practicing bodhisattva, plays his altruistic role in two more ways. One, transfer of merit. Bodhisattva, through his moral spiritual endeavor, accumulates merit, but he does not use the accumulated merit for selfish purpose, but distributes it to others. We come across many references in Mahayana literature which suggest that one can benefit another person by transferring one's merit. Number two, maturation of beings, sattva paripachana. We find many references in Mahayana literature to the idea that one of the roles of bodhisattvas is that wherever they go, they cause the maturation of beings, sattva paripachana. The idea seems to be that of helping the beings by way of maturation of their past actions towards fruition. We also come across the idea of maturation of wholesome roots, kushala mula paripachana. Of course, the above two ways refers to bodhisattvas' proactive altruism in general, and they are not peculiar to teacher-disciple relation. But as they have universal applicability, they can apply to teacher-disciple relation also. Now I come to teacher-disciple relation in Tantrayana. When we come to Tantrayana, the picture becomes somewhat complex. Though Tantrayana is included in Mahayana, that is, though it understands realization of emptiness as the ultimate truth and Buddhahood as the ultimate goal, unlike Mahayana in general, Tantrayana develops special techniques by which the aspirant can attain Buddhahood in this life itself. The techniques include mantra, recitation, visualization, and mudras. The important rite performed for enabling the aspirant to attainment of Buddhahood is called Abhisheka, which is translated as initiation or empowerment. A specially qualified guru is required for giving guidance for performance of the tantric practices and particularly for performing the rite of Abhisheka. In the last part of Bodhipatha Pradeep, Dipankara talks about this rite and the role of guru in it when he says, if you wish to fully complete the enlightenment building networks, that is Bodhi Sambhara, through a blissful awareness, and if you wish also to practice the secret actions as stated in the Tantra texts such as Kriya Tantra and Charya Tantra, then in order to be conferred the empowerment by the master, that is Acharya Abhisheka, you should please your venerable guru by all such things as respectful service, giving him precious things, that is Ratna, and by doing what he says. When you have pleased your guru and you are conferred the complete empowerment from the Vajra master, all negative forces in you will be completely purified and you will be endowed with the supernormal achievement, that is Siddhi Bhagi Bhavishyasi. This shows how Guru-Shishya relation in Tantrayana is different from that in both Theravada and Mahayana. In addition to being an instructor and a benefactor, the Guru in Tantrayana also acts as an expert in Tantra techniques and particularly the empowerment, that is Abhisheka, of the disciple. Because of this special power, the Guru is to be worshipped and served by the disciple with devotion. We find the detailed discussion of Guru, which typically applies to the Guru in Tantrayana in the work Guru Panchashaka, authored by one Acharya Ashwaghosha. While describing the ideal Tantra Acharya, Ashwaghosha says the Tantrayana master should be noble-minded, humble, intelligent, merciful, honest, non-crooked, expert in spells, techniques and their application, compassionate, learned in the scriptures, knower of the 10 principles, expert in drawing mandalas, interpreter of the spells, pure-minded, having control over senses. Dhiro, Vinito, Matiman, Kshamavan, Arjavaha, Ashataha, Mantra Tantra Prayogadnyaha, Krupaluhu, Shastra Kovidaha, Dasha Tattva Parijnata, Mandala Lekhya Karmavit, Mantra Vakyartha Krut, Mantra Vyakhya Krut Acharyaha, Prasannaha Syat Jitendriyaha. Now I come to the last portion, that is Brahmanical tradition and Tantrayana, some points of comparison. The Guru of Tantrayana has some comparable features with the priest and spiritual teacher of Brahmanical tradition. The priest in the Vedic tradition has a special authority to recite Vedic mantras, which leads the performer to the performer of the ritual to the fruit of the ritual through creation of special power called Apurva. Similarly, a Guru in Tantrayana is specially authorized to recite mantras and teach the mantras and other rituals to the disciple. In the Upanishadic context also, the Guru is supposed to be endowed with the knowledge of Brahman, which he imparts to the eligible disciple. Here the disciple is supposed to serve and worship the Guru and look at the Guru as Brahman or God incarnate. Similar relation is expected between Tantric teacher and the disciple. According to Upanishads, everybody is identical with Brahman and the Guru helps him to realize this. According to Tantrayana, everybody contains the embryo of Buddhahood, that is Tathagata Garbha, and the Guru helps the disciple to realize it. However, the differences between Brahmanical and the Tantrayana forms of Guru-Shishya relation cannot be overlooked. One important difference is that the Brahmanical form of Guru-Shishya relation is always governed by the caste considerations, whereas in Tantrayana form is not governed in that way. In Brahmanical tradition, only Brahmin can be a Guru and only high caste male can be the performer of a sacrifice in ritualistic framework or the aspirant of Brahma knowledge in the Upanishadic framework. Against this, in Tantrayana, even an ex-Shudra can be a teacher or an aspirant. A woman of any caste can be an aspirant. The other important difference is that the metaphysical concepts such as Brahman, Ishvara and Atman dominate the Brahmanical framework. What dominates the Tantrayana framework is the essencelessness, that is shunyata, of all phenomena. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Professor Pradeep. Very profound. I personally think this is such a very detailed, and I think people who really wants to learn more about the stages of how we should look into a guru. This is a very good teaching. So thank you so much. And while the professor was giving this advice, I was thinking about, it reminded me about how Atisa in Tibet, when he give the teaching to the Tibetans, saying, you Tibetans only have a way of looking to the teacher is a very ordinary, the guru as a very ordinary, and you are thinking to become fully enlightened. This is a big contradiction. So thank you so much for reminding me this again and again. Thank you very much. So now next, our speaker. Next speaker, Geshe Lobsang Dorjee.
Most respect. Second Srijana, chairperson of this section, and my Guruji, Professor Gokhale, and Andrea, and wonderful audience. Buddha, Guru, think the prayer. What are we doing? Yes, what are we doing? Guru, Buddha, Guru, Dharma. Manner. Sally? इसको मेल कर दीजिएगा अब हम जाएं बहुत Guru Buddha, Guru Dharma, Guru Sangastatevacha, Guru Vajradhar Shriman, Tasme Shri Gurave Namaha. Lama Sangi Lama Chut, Tishin Lama Gindinte, Lama Pantin Tojicha, Lama Nano Charles. The Chujidi is our charm. So, the content of my topics is Guru-Shishya relationship in the Buddhism. The main point is on three. First one is on commencement of Buddhist Guru-Shishya relationship. Second one is on great Guru Atisa Dipankara biography and his contribution on Buddhism. And third one is Guru-Shishya lineage transmission from India to Tibet among 4 major Tibetan schools. So I am the last speaker, so I have nothing else to say. All the contribution and the legacy and contribution of the Atisa has been said by other speaker. But I would like to say something. The sub-contents of my topics, the comments of Buddhist Geshe tradition. So I would like to read out. My article has around 26 pages, and most of them are related with the life of the Atisa. So I will skip all those life of the Atisa. So I would like to read out right from the beginning. The great teacher, philosopher, and the reformer Tathagata Shakyamuni renounced his palace life at the age of 29. He set out to discover the true nature of the phenomena and understand the root cause of the suffering for all the sentient beings. Initially, he sought out the guidance from the great teacher, Acharya Alara Kalam and Udakaram Putra. However, after mastering their method, he realized that did not lead to the ultimate liberation, so he departed from Uruvela. Over 6 years, he practiced the savage austerities but did not attain the ultimate goal. Abandoning this extreme path, he adopted the middle way. After accepting an offering mix from the Sujata, his strength was restored. He then sat down the poetry with firm determinations, vowing, even if my flesh, muscle, and the blood tear off, I will not change my posture until I attain the full enlightenment. Battling and defeating 4 Maras obstacles, he attained enlightenment at the age of 35. After remaining silence for 7 weeks in the various locations around Bodh Gaya, he contemplated the suffering of the world, recognizing that all these beings wish to be free from the misery. He decided to share his profound awakening to lead them toward the liberation. His 5, looking for the suitable disciples who could comprehend these deep teachings, he thought of his 5 former companions. From years of austerity, he then proceeded toward Brigdaya, present-day Sarnath. Commencement of Buddhist Guru-Shishya relationship. Buddha initiated first turning the wheel of Dharma by expounding the 4 Noble Truths to his first 5 disciples. Upon realizing the true knowledge of phenomena, they achieved the liberation, establishing the first Guru-Shishya teacher-disciple lineage in Buddhist history. Subsequently, 55 youth from prominent families joined the order, having eliminated the 3 defilements. They transcended the cycle of samsara, birth and death. Notable Bhikshu Yaksha, the son of the prominent businessman, became the 6th disciple. His family members became the first lay practitioner, Upasak and Upasika, to accept the 5 precepts and take the 3 refuge. Ultimately, these 60 Arahants dispersed throughout India to propagate the Dharma, flourishing into what is known today as Buddhism. Uruvela Kashyap, Nadi Kashyap, and then Gaya Kashyap, along with 1,000 disciples taking the ordination from the Buddha. After completing his first sermon retreat, Buddha left Varanasi and traveled toward Uruvela, Gaya. On the way in the forest near Sasaram, he met 30 young householders. After receiving his philosophical teaching, they all became his disciples. Upon reaching the bank of the Naranjana river in Uruvela, Buddha met Uruvela Kashyap, a leader of 500 disciples who performed the fire sacrifice. His two brothers, Nadi Kashyap and Gaya Kashyap, lived downstream with 250 step disciples each. Through the Buddha propounded the three kinds of the teaching on the morality, right concentration, and the wisdom, Shuddhamai, Siddhamai, and Bhavanamai. They have converted. The Buddha delivered the Gaya Sutra, Gaya Shir Sutra, or Aditya Priyaya Sutra in Pali, leading all these brothers and their 1,000 disciples to attain the state of Arhanta. This group of over 1,000 monks accompanied to the Buddha to Rajgir, to fulfilling the promise the Buddha had made to King Bimbisara before his enlightenment. Hearing of their arrival, King Bimbisara, his minister, and his family went to welcome them. However, the citizens of the Magadha were confused. Seeing the young Buddha with utterly renowned teacher Uruvela Kashyap, they wondered, has Gautama become the follower of the Kashyapa, or has Kashyapa shaved his head to follow the Gautama? Since having this doubt, Uruvela Kashyap folded his hands, paid respect to the Buddha, and declared, I am the disciple of the compassionate teacher Gautama. Through his teaching, I have established myself in morality, concentration, and wisdom. This declaration cleared crowd doubt. This event marked the ordination of the second largest group of the disciples in the history of Buddhism. Shariputra and Mongolputriyan, along with 250 disciples, taking the ordination from the Buddha. Among the first 5 disciples, Ara Ashvajit went to Rajgir for Mrigadaya Sarnath. The famous disciple Shariputra and Mongolputra, named as Upatisha and Kolida, lived close to Nalanda. They both are very close friends and went to seek a way to get liberation from samsara. Once Upatisha visited Rajgir and he saw a bhikshu going to beg for alms house to house. His movements were very peaceful, calm, and non-aggressive. Upatisha Shariputra was extremely impressed by the glow of his face and his calm behavior. Upatisha Shariputra thought that this person looks different from the others who might have attained the nature of phenomena. He waited until Bhikshu has finished his meal. He went close to him and asked, who is your teacher and what he taught? He replied that his teacher was Shakya Gautama, fully in 91. I have recently become his disciple. I have not much knowledge about his teaching. Upatisha insisted. Bhikshu Ashvajit explained, even if very briefly, his teacher's doctrine. The Bhikshu Ashvajit said, Yo Dhamma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagata Aha Tesham Cha Yoga Nirod Evam Vadihi Mahasharmanaho. This is Pali. The meaning of that shlokas, entire phenomena has one cause. These causes have been taught by the Tathagata. He had also taught the session of the such causes. This is the teaching of the Mahasharmano. When Upatisha heard these words, he was completely blessed, moved, and felt deep faith toward the Buddha and his teaching. He understood the deep and profound meaning of the Dharma, and we should see the Buddha as alias. His face glowed like a Bhikshu Ashvajit, and feels that his movements have also become calm, peaceful, and free from all the suffering. So this shloka has included the two types of truths, and 4 noble truths, and 12 dependent originations. I don't want to elaborate all. Thereafter, Upatisha said respect to the Bhikshu Ashvajit and immediately proceeded to meet his friend. Kolya means Mogolayan Putra. Kolya was shocked to see his friend, Upatisha, not like usual. His friend's face glowing and his calm attitude is so impressive. He asked Upatisha, Shariputra, you are not like usual. You have achieved something which we are searching for. He said, of course, I have met an extremely impressive person, and repeated these verses from him, Bhikshu Ashwajita to Kolia. He was blessed on the hearing the essence of this teaching of Buddha in brief. He felt deep faith toward the Buddha due to the great accumulation of past merits, and eyes with Dhamma opened within him. Both of them decided to go to Vinavana to take the refuge for the Buddha. Before going to see the Buddha, they thought it was proper to inform their 250 colleagues who were followers of their teacher, Sanjay. The colleagues also decided to go with them. Then both friends thought that they should also inform to their teacher, Sanjay. Their teacher, Sanjay, however, was not accepted to join them. Thus, Upadisha and Ecole, along with 250 companions, took refuge in the Buddha. These two friends, later known as Shariputra, Mongolian Buddha, became the Buddha's chief disciples. Eventually, they all attained the arahantship and joined the rank of the 1,250 regular followers mentioned in the Veda Sutra. As the Buddha's followers grow, many powerful rulers become his disciples, including King Bimbisara, King Pasanjita of Kosala, King Uttavashali, Ajarshato Magadha, King Udayana of Kaushambi, renowned practitioner and the philosopher such as Mahakashapa, Sonadanda, Aniruddha, Katayana, Puruna, Maitri Puruna also became close disciples. By practicing the Buddha's teaching, these great disciples realized the true nature of the phenomena, freed themselves from the suffering and attained the liberation in that very life. Now I want to go to Guru-Shishya relationship. Actually, all the Guru-Shishya relationships said by my Guruji. So I would like to say the responsibility of the role of the Guru. In Buddhism, the ultimate goal is to achieve the liberation or enlightenment through the intellectual understanding with a strong determination. The path is not vast. Path is vast, profound, mind is tricky, and obstacle inevitable. Thus, according to the Buddhism, the Guru-Shishya relationship is fundamentally rooted in the spiritual tradition. Guru not only impacts teaching but also guides the disciples with wisdom, ultimately leading to them toward the liberation. This relationship is characterized by the trust, respect, devotion, and moral integrity, not hierarchy or financial exchange. The teacher is a living representative of the Buddha who gave teaching to the disciples. His compassion, wisdom, and ethical conduct serves as a primary inspiration for the disciples. Guru instructs the right view, technique of the meditation, technique, precepts, ensuring the disciples does not interpret the straight value. He also gave the achieve based on his capacity and development and develop their minds. So I don't want to speak all about the Guru responsibility, all in said. And all this, one more thing I have to say that all those, the qualification of the Guru has been mentioned in the Madhyanath Sutra Alankara and Sharman Sangraha and Arya Ashokosha's 50 verses. Role of the Shishya. Responsibility of the Shishya disciples. Disciples who also wish to achieve the liberation from the cycle accidents to the Guru is profound on faith, religions, and critical investigations. Dedicated disciples make the commitment to attain liberation on their own and strive with same speed as the teachers and instructors. The principle taught by the Guru must develop and actualize them in their own life. Disciples strive to excel beyond the Guru, eventually surpass them, continuing the traditions. She inspires the continuity and transmission of the teachings across the generation and fulfill the Master's ultimate visions. Devotion and faith toward the Guru by disciples. Once Arya Shataputra proceeded to the direction and someone complained to the Buddha that Arya Shataputra is praying to the directions. Later Buddha asked about it to the Shataputra, and he replied that I am pressing to my Guru, first Guru, Arya Ashwajita. I am not pointing my feet toward that direction where my Guru is sleeping. This is the two. This story is mentioned in the Dhammapatta's Atakatha by Acharya Buddha-Ghosha. Regarding about the life of the Guru Atisa ji, don't want to elaborate all. It has around 26 subtitles related with the life of the Atisa. So I want to skip this one. You can read from my paper. The one thing that has not been mentioned earlier, which I would like to say here, regarding about the invitation of the Acharya Atisa ji to Tibet, there's one text. Khamba Rinjin Lama, disciple of the Gampopa, authored an extensive commentary on Atisa Dipankara, Bodhisattva Pradeep, land for the path to enlightenment. In this text, he described that even surrounding Atisa's invitation to Tibet by Nakso Lodzawa, Siddham Java, according to the account, Nakso Lodzawa and Geshe presented Atisa with 16 gold coins and large gold plate at Vikramshila. Atisa subsequently divided the 16 gold coins into 4 equal shares. 4 coins were offered to the Mahabodhi temple in the Bodhigaya for worship. 4 were dedicated to the renovation of temple at Odanapuri, dating back to the time of the Kashabuddha. 4 were allocated for the worship at the Odanapuri temple, and the final 4 were given to the Vikramshila for renovation. No,
due to the technical issue we had earlier, I'm giving 3 more minutes to Kema.
Thank you so much. Now I would like to say a little bit about the works of the Atisa. The introduction of some famous texts composed, revised, and translated by Atisa during his 17 years reside in Tibet. His works were crucial in connecting the doctrine errors and extolling the unified, coherent Buddhist paths. The most famous composed by Acharya Atisa is the foundation stone of the Tibetan Rabling stage of the path to the enlightenment traditions, Bodhisattva Pradeep. This is his seminal work, composed 1044 era at the request of the King Chengdu. It provides a concise sequential guide to the entire Buddhist path, unifying the complex teaching of the Sutta and Tantra into a single framework categorized for the lesser, medium, and excellent type of the tradition. This is one text. Second one is Abhisamaya Alankara Tika, which is called Duravabodh Aloka. Third one is Madhumakirdiya Virdi. Fourth one is Ratna Pradeep. Now, one thing I have to say here, some of his major independent compositions includes Bodhisattva and his auto self-commentary, into the true truth brief of the extensive Madhyamika instructions, Charya Sangra Pradeep, and Bodhisattva Mani Avali. This is the main text of the mind training, Maya Sutra Samajaya. This is a very important text. In general, there are 123 works by Acharya himself presented in the Tibetan canon, and there are around 72 texts still not included in the Tibetan canon. I have recently mentioned the list of these texts in the appendix of my recently restored, translated, and critically edited into the auto commentary of the Bodhisattva Pradeep by Acharya, which will soon be published. There are 77 texts revised by Acharya with various Tibetan Lodzawa, which I have mentioned in the 5 treatises of Acharya Dipankara Srijana. Chit has restored 34 texts of the Atisa Dipankara from Tibetan to Sanskrit, and 24 texts were published by Chits. Among the 24 published works of Atisa, 8 works were restored, translated into Hindi and English, critically edited by myself. Atisa disabled India and Tibet. Now I will put this one also. The main lineage of the Atisa is Jajan Chuchi, the lineage of the vast contract, Samutaji, profound Madhyamika philosophy, Lobsang Chuchi, the lineage of the Bodhicitta, and Nyamle Jinju, a practice of the Kadam 16 talks. Then one more important thing, this one is often expressed in his speeches that Indians are the Guru Master, Tibetans are the sincere Shishya. This statement hints at a profound historical relation between the two countries. Tibetan religion, philosophy, tradition, lineage, Tantric ritual, rituals, mantra recitation, even prayers were fundamentally adopted for the sutras and shastras written in Sanskrit. Consequently, all these elements were received completely from the great Indian gurus and masters of the renowned Narendra, Vagamshala and Odanpuri monastic universities, among the others. We sincere Tibetan disciples not only maintain this great tradition, but also widely flourish it throughout the world. We have well preserved and protected these profound traditions for many centuries, particularly after they wash out in their homeland. Now we are pleased to be returning this preserved heritage to the people of India. Now I will skip all. So these are the few images related to the four Tibetan major schools. First one is Nyingma school lineage transmission from India to Tibet. This one Nyingma lineage transmission from India to Tibet. This one is Gaji lineage. This is the travel. And this one is the Gaji Amzamba. And the Sakya lineage transmission from India to Tibet. Guru-Shishya lineage. The Sakya lineage travel. And this is Guru Giluk school lineage transmission from India to Tibet. Guru-Shishya lineage. And this is the travel. Now conclusion. Acharya Atisa Dipankara Srijana profound contribution to the Buddhism is really immense, especially his dedication and sacrifice for the preservation and restoration of the Buddhism in Tibet. His vast legacy is one Tibetan will never forget. Thus, the best way to fulfill his wishes is for us to all faithfully uphold his lineage, practice and teaching, and actively share them with the world to promote happy and harmonious society. Thank you so much to all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Krishna. Thank you for all the speakers. So, just Geshe mentioned about the life story about Buddha and how he trains his students and the students' devotion towards their guru. So, it really looks like if somebody is looking for a realization, then without having this decisive belief, we can be an expert, we can be a good researcher, but looks like we are not going to be a practitioner. So if we are on the path to become a practitioner along the path, then without the guidance of a guru and not having the devotion, it looks like from the lineage, there's no way to build the stage. As Lama Tsongkhapa's stages of path, at the beginning of that, he explains very deeply, one who does not have a guru devotion, the rest of all these practices will remain dry. So that really something that I cannot say this to you all, but it's really kind of a teaching to me. Thank you very much. And now I will open the floor for the question. I think it's 20 minutes, right? Okay.
So good afternoon all. So my one is not really like question, but more request to the Geshe Lobsang, Dorjee. So can you please tell us a little bit more about how the Dromtemba devoted his life to the Guru Atisa in the context of Guru and disciple relationship?
At the end of Atisa, his little child, he said to Ramdamba, and I have hand of all the lineages what I have, and you have to build one monastery. Then Ramdamba said, I am very poor, I cannot build a monastery, and I cannot do, he said. Then he said, you have to do according to the Dharma, Buddha teaching. Later, he built this Rabling monastery. It's very popular. So, why he's so what happened that once he went to collect the golds from the border of the Tibet, so he got a little bit golds from that area, and later he built that one. And when Dipankara was very sick, so he gave a lot of service to him.
Okay. So, just a reminder, so we don't have much time, so we will take the last question. Okay?
My question is actually to Professor Gokhale. You mentioned in your talk about the difference between the Vedic and Buddhist, with the various schools of Buddhism, the Guru-Shishya relationship. So, of course, as you yourself said, the Buddhist system was much more inclusive in the sense that it included all castes, while the Hindu system excluded castes. But also in the form of teaching, education, initiation. In the Buddhist tradition, what I understand at least is it's much more questioning, critical thinking, debate is invited. Perhaps in the Hindu tradition or Vedic or whatever you want to say, the Guru is more supreme and no questioning. I mean, over there also it is an unequal relationship. What do you comment on?
I didn't get exactly the question. I mean, my point was that this Varna caste consideration is not there in Buddhism, but Guru has to have some...
In the form of teaching, critical thinking or questioning is not really appreciated perhaps so much in the tradition. Just your comments on that.
Not that Shishya cannot ask questions. I mean, that is not there in Brahmanical tradition also. He can ask. I mean, there are, Tadvidhi Pranipatena is one part of it. Then Pariprashnena Sevaya. Sevaya is another part of it, that you have to serve the teacher, but also Pariprashnena. You have to ask questions, and Guru is supposed to answer them. So that questioning, answering is certainly there. How critical you can be, there the question arises, because this framework of Vedas as Pramana, and that is supposed, Vedas, Shastras in general, they are not to be questioned. Ultimately, reason is to serve the scriptures, reason is to justify the scriptures and not question the scriptures. That has been the general tendency in Vedic tradition. Whereas here one can question the scriptures, I think.
Okay. So can I add something on this? So whatever the Professor Ji has said, I have nothing very special things to say. But also in Buddhism, in the beginning we ask lots of questions, but then later when it comes to you have once you really know what you're getting from your teacher, then we slowly ask less question and do more work. And then on Tantra, you know that you are getting more than you are asking. And then we completely stop asking at that time. So it's a kind of a similar approach is there. But first we really need to know where we are starting, that is a safe approach or not. Like you really wanted to know that your palate is quite well experienced or not. And then once you say he has a degree, he has the expert, he has flown few times already and successful, so then we sit down and then we pay the price, right? Similarly. Okay. Thank you very much. And then because now we are running out of time, so 3:30 is tea break. So normally moderator normally does not have opportunity to ask a question, but today I'm breaking this law and going to ask you all a question, which I really don't need to have the answer right away. It's most important because now we are concluding this seminar, this conference of Atisa. So now most of the people, when we think Atisa, when he said journey to Indonesia and then this hectic travel, we feel hectic. But for Atisa, do you think it's hectic for him? Maybe he was ready for everything, and he was really kind of looking forward these obstacles, how he studies for what he is getting in Indonesia is something much bigger. So, and then also we can see the journey for Atisa was wonderful. So what would be the key point there? And then once we practice, do we have that? Because these great masters leave so many footprints, which sometimes we only see the bigger image, but all the footprints we kind of never. We say we wanted to follow your footpaths, but sometimes we really don't know. So the question is, what is something that the journey for Atisa to reach Indonesia, what makes the journey more very smooth in his heart? So I think I have the answer, but I really want you to think about, and then thank you so much for your patience, and thank you all the speakers. Thank you.